This is the Action Movie Guys podcast, bringing you action movie reviews from across the decades, plus box office numbers and insight like never before. And now, your hosts of the Action Movie Guys podcast, Alex and Nate.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode number 294 of the Action Movie Guys podcast. I'm your host, Nate, and this is my co-host,
Alex Figueroa.
And on this episode, we're starting off Heist Movie Month. So this will be, we have 5 weeks this week. It'll be 5 movies where the plot somehow revolves around someone stealing something. And then we'll review everything around that. You know, our usual characters and villains and action and all the good stuff. This first one is going to be a little movie from 2012 called Man on the Ledge. Alex, I don't think you've seen this one because you had to ask me if it was the right movie. So...
Yeah, I never heard of this movie, and I literally was just like, I was on vacation during this thing, and I told my wife, I said, wait a minute, are we literally watching a movie on a guy on the freaking ledge? Because I'm like, this would have been so, and I didn't get the and I didn't think about it, because I was just like, waiting, I was like, it is what it is, but I sent you the cover, and I was like,
yes.
Is this it? Anyway, yeah. Really interesting, though. It has a lot of good characters in this movie, like actors.
This movie has a crazy good cast.
Yeah, the cast is crazy.
You got Sam Worthington, Elizabeth Banks, Anthony Mackie, Ed Harris, the guy from Bosch, Jamie Bell, Genesis Rodriguez.
The butt cheeks dude from Die Hard 2, the general.
Yeah, William Sadler.
There you go. Yeah.
This movie is stacked. Literally, got a lot of... So we're going to talk about them, though. They might have a good cast, but did they play good characters? So we're going to get into all that in a moment. Before we do, let's go ahead and give you some good old Rotten Tomato scores on this bad boy. And you know what? They're not amazing. You know, doing this movie, I'm never surprised when I go to check the old RTs. This one has a 31% critic score and a 52% audience. So audience... a little more favorable, little more than half liked it.
Yeah, you know, when it, you know, it's funny. We always do this to ourselves. Well, first of all, every time I don't watch these movies, there's a trend going on here, which I'll talk about it when we start doing the reviews. But I noticed that when you pull a movie out of the hat that you've seen, the critics are really bad at it, and then the audience is skyrocket. And I'm like, wait a minute, it's just a weird trend.
There's always a big
honestly,
gap.
I don't understand. I'm gonna be honest though. In the case of this film, I really don't understand what the hell the beef with the critics on is. I'm just going to say.
Fair enough. Well, let's talk about it. So we're going to start off, of course, with lead character. This is going to be Sam Worthington. He's a guy named Nick Cassidy, former cop and also Man on a Ledge. What did you think?
I liked him. So I'm not a big fan of Sam. I mean, we did some movies of his here, and we're not big on him. Like I didn't like him as Terminator. Yeah, he wasn't big as a Terminator, but I did like him in Salvation though. I thought he was cool, but I didn't think he was like that great. But he was good in this. I felt like he was really good. I'm not gonna give him a 5 or perfect. I gave him a 4. He was very believable. Like you said, he was a cop, then he was an informant, and then we'll talk about it more in the storyline. But he was all family oriented, which was kind of fun. He was innocent. I love movies like this, like AKA The Fugitive and that's stuff like this. Oh man, this movie off the bat, I was like halfway through the movie and I said, oh my God, my Action Movie Guys encyclopedia in my brain started going off and went, wait a minute, this is The Negotiator with my man Samuel L. Jackson and Kevin Spacey. Okay, that is another classic that I hope we could cover here in this movie. But this film is a mirror of that film. And I said, now I know what I'm getting myself into. This is actually pretty decent. I like the way this character is. He was very fun. I was engaged throughout the whole movie. He did it very well. And I thought it was fun. And I love the twists at the end with him, which we'll talk about in the storyline. I gave him a 4 for great. I thought he was great.
I don't have any arguments for you. The only thing with Sam Worthington for me, I don't think he got the look of a leading man, but he doesn't always have the presence of a leading man. And the other thing is he's Australian. And in this movie, it happened a lot. He struggles with the American accent. Anytime he starts yelling, you start hearing the Australian kind of slip out a little bit. But besides that, that's the performance. We're scoring the character. I'm with you. I gave him a 4. I think they did a good job of setting him up. Literally at the beginning of the movie, you think he's a bad guy, period. It starts off with him fighting in jail. You know, they show him getting in prison fights. You think, oh my God, this guy did something. And even and then he goes to his father's funeral. And he gets in a fight with his brother, and then he pulls a gun on a cop and I'm like, gosh, this guy's he's not a good fellow. But then as the movie unravels, you start seeing some stuff. And you're like, wait a second, maybe he is innocent. Maybe he's not. It's a thriller. This is a thriller as far as the storyline and the characters. And then there's like action bits sprinkled in. So it's, I would say, more like thriller action than action thriller. Yeah, it has the hallmarks of a thriller, and there's a lot of twists, like you mentioned. Things are revealed about him as the movie goes on. Things are revealed about other characters, and I like them. I like how he's up on the ledge. I like the little dynamic with him and Elizabeth Banks. Like he's like, I trust you. I know you're a good cop. I know I don't trust these other people. Oh, Edward Burns is in this movie too. I forgot. He's the other cop in the room.
Oh, yes.
And so I like that. And then I like that the whole time he's up there, he's talking with his brother in the earpiece, and he's like doing all stuff. I like when he pretends like he's gonna jump. I'm gonna jump, and everybody's like, yeah, jump. Oh, they need a distraction. He starts throwing money everywhere. Like, I liked him. I thought he was a fun character. I was rooting for him. I think that's ultimately the goal of a movie like this. You gotta be like, especially it comes to a certain point, you're like, I hope he succeeds. I really do. I liked him. So I gave him a 4 as well. Okay, main villain now. He's played by one of the best. Ed Harris as David Englander. Rich guy. The bad rich guy.
Bad rich guy. He didn't have much scenes, but he was a great freaking bad guy. I gave him a 5. He was great. He was an asshole, and I loved it. He was like, I'm going to kill your brother. I'm going to throw his ass off the roof. I was like, I freaking love it. I thought Ed Harris played a rich guy who uses insurance money to get back his wealth. I love it. I think that whole plan is what makes movies like this tick, and I love it. When it's told right. I mean, there's a lot of movies that we've seen so far, and I bet we're going to see in the future that has, I bet, the same type of storyline with villains, and it's not going to be told right. This one was told very right, because from off the bat, you already knew this dude was a dick, and then halfway through the movie, you go, oh, this is the dude that's going to get punched in the face sooner or later, just like in Geostorm. When you knew he was the one who betrayed the president.
That's right.
Punched in the face.
That's right. He's always a good bad guy, Ed Harris.
He is. And he was in The Rock also.
And History of Violence. He was a bad guy in that. He's a great
And
bad
then
guy.
he was the voice of the planes in Planes.
There you go.
He was in But anyway, Ed Harris is a 5. I give him a 5.
All right. I gave him a 4. For one of the main reasons you mentioned, like, he's not on screen a whole lot, but his plan, essentially what he does is he has his diamond stolen from him. They like stage a theft of the diamond. It's this big freaking huge diamond because he's losing a lot of money because of like the housing crisis, and he was investing in property and all this stuff, and it crashed. So he stages a robbery of the diamond, then files an insurance claim on it, but he actually still has the diamond. So the insurance claim gets him back, and he starts to build, and then he gets back his money. That's ultimately what he does. And he framed the main character. That's the whole beef. Okay, and then I guess we'll explain a little more in the plot, but that's essentially what he is. But yeah, he's a real dick in this movie. Ed Harris is one of the best at somehow. Oh, he was in that Run All Night movie too. Remember with Liam Neeson?
Oh, Run All Night. Yeah,
this guy's a villain. Yeah. He's a villain in everything. He got a bad guy face. That's what it is. But what I was gonna say was he has an ability to still be likable because he's such a good actor. Like I like Ed Harris. And so if he is a good guy, he's like, man, I really love this guy. And when he's bad, it's like, I love to hate this guy because he's a real douchebag. You know what I mean? So because he's more of like a douchebag villain than like like he doesn't kill anyone, not himself, but he doesn't like shoot people. He doesn't fight or nothing. I gave him a 4 though. His plan is pretty messed up for what it did to this other character. So, but I love him in the role though. He's always good. He's super reliable. Okay, action.
Okay, so it's not. Oh, it's weird because this movie it's like a double-edged sword because it has action, but not much action. Yeah. But then it has all the thievery of them trying to get the stuff. So like to me, that's action of them breaking into try to break into
especially in a
vault.
Heist movie.
Yeah,
right.
It is. So like to me, I gave it a 4. I thought it was great. I like the way they would try. I think to a little bit, I will say is that it took a little bit too long for them to go into this vault. That's the only thing I would say. But other than that, I thought everything was executed really well in that. And then in terms of the action scenes, I love when they do the whole towards the end when they start chasing Anthony Mackie and I had gun firing. I love when the chaos erupts, like in a movie like this that we'll talk about in storyline when plot starts to unveil and who's the bad guy, who's working with who. Love it. I love this stuff like that because I was like, this is great storytelling when it starts to unravel at the end. So it could have went to honestly, I could give it a 5, but I gave it a 4. I thought to me, I think it's a balance. To me, a 4 it's a balance of both going into the vault and then all the plots unveiling at the end. So I give it a 4.
Okay, I gave it a 3 purely from the standpoint of, like you said, there's not a lot of action. Now, the heist elements of it, I did factor them in. You're right, though. It does take a little bit of time, but it's tough because you have a lot of characters where you're kind of bouncing around. So I have to keep cutting back to the heist part of it and then getting into this safe and stuff like that. But the actual action, there's like a little car chase scene at the beginning at the funeral, and then you have the end part. I do love when the SWAT team rappels down and he just runs and he just like grabs onto the guy and jumps around the corner and smashes him into the wall, and he starts jumping on the things. I'm like, oh, that's kind of sketchy. And then, like you said, at the end, you have the gun. I'm gonna throw your brother off the top. I'm gonna throw him off the top. And then Anthony Mackie shows up and they start shooting each other. And then I like it. I'm into that stuff as well. But that's about all the action you get. It's not a lot, but it's enough to still categorize this as an action film. and again, because it's heist month, factoring in the heist as part of the action. So it was good for me. It was good.
Remember when he runs through the roof and he jumps into the bag or whatever the hell he does?
He jumps off there. He jumps onto a giant pillow. Sketchy.
Oh, Jesus. I was like, the camera work actually was pretty good. I liked it, how they made it look all spinning mad fast. Like he's really just going down.
And some dude did it. Cool. Some stuntman jumped off of that thing and landed on that thing. I do, though. It is hilarious how he's able to like roll off of it and get through that whole crowd and get to Ed Harris like in 1 second.
And there's another scene. I would say like what I didn't give it a 5 though was when he's on the ledge. It's super small, and then from the camera angle it becomes big again, and he could walk around it. And I was like,
jump.
And yeah, I was like, I know it's movie magic and they had to shoot whatever they did. Yeah. It's just, I hate when they move the camera angle because then it takes away the angles. Like it was short in the beginning, and then when they moved the camera, it became big and he could just hang out.
Well, when he first goes out, he's like, whoa, like, it looks like he has like 7 inches of, and then he actually had like 2 feet of like ledge.
Yeah, and then he holds it. He's talking to Elizabeth Banks, and I'm like, well, first of all, if you're that short, I mean, there's no way you could just turn around that quick. And he's turning around, going around the other end of the building, and then he comes back, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, okay, but other than that, I thought that's just nitpicking. Yeah. I just thought it worked. The plan of what they needed to do of him on the edge was awesome. I thought it was good. I would never do it, but I thought it was good.
All right, so 4 for you, 3 for me. Okay, storyline.
Okay, this storyline is a 4. I thought it was great. I can't give it a perfect. So for me, a perfect movie in a heist is a movie that is very uniquely told. I thought this was told uniquely, one. But what I mean is like it doesn't have influences or films that you already start to think of off the bat. And again, I know a lot of people are like, oh, you're criticizing. I'm not criticizing. It's just, I love movies so much and I love action movies and stuff. It's kind of hard for me to go, oh, wow, this movie is one of the best heist movies ever, because again, you get a lot of movies that you've seen. Once the movie starts to unfold, you start to get The Negotiator. Off the bat, this movie is 100% The Negotiator. If you guys ever seen it, check it out. It's an amazing movie. It has 2 of the best Oscar award winners in the films. You got Samuel Jackson as the lead, and then you got Kevin Spacey as the other negotiator. Yeah. So honestly, check it out for you guys, for yourself. But again, originality was there. To be honest with you, I didn't even know he was talking to his brother until he put his hands on the ear, and I went, okay, now I like this stuff. And then I started, because again, the movie does not tell you about a heist, and that's another genuine thing about the movie that threw me off. I thought it was him going to be on top of the ledge going, I'm innocent, and all this crap, but no, it was literally him distracting. And then once you start to see it unfold, you go, okay, this is actually pretty cool. One thing I will say that really was like, okay, in New York would never fly is when they blew up they did the first explosions and all the dust came out. Everyone would have saw that from looking up. I was like, that was never gonna happen. But I was like, it is what it is. I love everything. The way it came down with Anthony Mackie, you really thought he was bad, and I loved it because he started taking the files off. Actually, I don't want to ruin it for anyone because this is kind of a fairly new movie, so I don't know. I don't know if you want to go with this in terms of revealing everything. And do you want to spoil it or what?
People have plenty of. Y'all already know the rules here. We are not a spoiler-free podcast, so
okay. Well, Anthony Mackie starts destroying mad evidence from a locker. He takes files away from Elizabeth Banks when they say, oh, you get to take this up to her because that's his best friend and all this crap. I'm like, yo, this dude is a dick. And you know what? Anthony Mackie, I will say this. I don't believe him as a lead character. I don't think he's more of a supporting actor. He's good at that. His role here was really good. He was really good in this. He's not a good lead character. I'm sorry with that. And I know he's doing Captain America. I don't know how that's going to work.
Falcon.
He's better as Falcon, but not as Captain America. But I think in terms of this film, you have a lot of great actors that know how to switch that good guy, bad guy, and it makes it so much fun in this movie. So I'll let you go explain way more with the plot because it to me is way tongue-tied. But I gave it a 4. I thought it was great.
Yeah. Again, we're close. I'm 1 point under you, but for the exact reason that you mentioned.
Yeah.
I like the plot. I think it's good. I like the heist elements of it. I like the characters, again. But you hit the nail on the head. Like, this reminds me of like 10 other movies too. So because it felt so familiar in a lot of ways, you can, if you've ever seen like a thriller or like this kind of, not even heist, I just mean like a thriller of like the wrong man, the wrongfully accused, the fugitive. You mentioned that one. This has some vibes of that because technically it is a fugitive. The Negotiator's a big one, but there's just a lot of movies like this. I like all of the thing is I like I like that subgenre. So even though I am like, yeah, this reminds me of this and this reminds me of this, I still have fun when I watch it. So I gave it a 3. I think it's good. It would have been better if it did some really, really unique things. But the only thing this does unique is that the dude is standing on a ledge for the for the whole movie. You know what I mean? Other than that, I shouldn't say that. That's a discredit. There are other elements that are in this that are not in every other movie. But I'm just saying there's also enough that it borrows from the genre that it's, it feels familiar when you're watching it. Now, I will say there are some twists and stuff that you don't really see, which is that's the reason I say it is good. I don't really understand with the critics, like with their very low, like why so many people don't like it. Maybe it's that. Maybe they're like, oh, I've seen this before, so automatically they dismiss it. But I'm a fan of these types of movies, so I like it. I like the brother dynamic. I like how you think they hate each other, but actually they're like best buds. You know, they fake the fight at the funeral. They fake their dad's funeral. First of all, he's not even dead. He turns out to be William Sadler. He's giving him a cheeseburger and stuff like that. He tells the cop, he's like, he got honest eyes. And like that whole thing takes a different meaning once you know it's his son. It's like, oh, no wonder he's talking good about him. And he's like, believe him. Just believe him. I think he's innocent. And once Jamie Bell comes back to the hotel and gives him the diamond, I'm like, oh, that's the dad. I forgot. I saw this movie in the theater and I didn't really remember much. So I was like, oh, shoot, that's his pops. I know it. He's in on it. And that's his pops, and they got him. But yeah, I like the stuff. The only thing I would say that's a little undercooked is Elizabeth Banks' character. I like her, but like I wish they went a little more into her whole like why she's so like kind of like shunned from everybody. Like they mention it, but I think she could have used a little more development because then it would have made their whole thing, especially at the end when they go to get beers. And that's the other thing. Like you're telling me this guy did all this stuff, and even though he didn't steal that diamond, like he didn't commit any other crimes during this, and they're just gonna let him walk for like he just leaves the jail and goes to the bar. Like he also did pull a gun on a cop. He did steal a car. He did, so it's those conveniences where it's like, I would have been happier if he was like in jail for like 30 days. Like, hey, but you're going to get out. You're innocent of that crime, but you also took some people hostage and attempted to jump off a thing while your brother stole stuff. So everyone gets off too scot-free a little bit for me. But I agree with everything you said, though. It's a good storyline. Okay, overall.
Okay, so overall, well, I didn't touch on Elizabeth Banks, so I'll do that quick here on overall. I think she's good. I think she's cute. My only gripe with Elizabeth Banks, I felt like she was the female John McClane. She wakes up, and the first thing she pops is painkillers.
Getting some painkillers.
With alcohol. And then she's like, what do you want? It's like, we need you here at 34th Street because this man on the ledge. And she goes, I'll be there.
Yeah,
and then
all of a sudden, just wake up? And she's like, no way, man.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden she gets there and she's like, all right, give me the file. And I'm like, this is so like John McClane. But she is a great actress and she was believable. Like the whole, like she let that girl die while she was doing the negotiating part. I was like, okay, cool. I liked it. I had fun with it. Overall, this is a great film. I purchased it digitally for $8. And the first thing I said was, I'm not going to rent it because it's $4. Like, extra $4, just buy it and help somebody, like a catering guy or something from the movie. Right. So I was like, it is what it is. I'll buy it. And I was like, man, am I going to regret this $8? Because I was like, this could be a piece of crap. And I was like, and I feel it. When I came out watching it, I said, yo, this movie reminds me of up in the echelons of 21 Bridges with my man Chadwick Boseman, right? Yeah. It goes up there with my man Gerard Butler, that he plays the cop with Ice Cube's son. What's Den the hell is it called? Den of Thieves. I like Den of Thieves. I know we are, but I do like it. So, like, it falls under that echelon. Like, it's not super popular.
Yeah.
But if you give it enough time and let it marinate in the movie sauce and let it come out, and I think people will enjoy this for what the film is. I don't think this movie is that bad, bro, for a 30% Rotten Tomato from the critics. This movie, honestly, if I was a critic in Rotten Tomatoes, I honestly would give this a 65. To be honest with you, 65, maybe 70, because it's actually a really good movie. Everything was told well. Yeah, it has all the similarities of all the heist movies, like, you know, Italian Job and you know, Fugitive and all the other stuff. So, okay, great, but you can't fault a movie for that, you know? Yeah. It's just the writers, you know, maybe the writer was inspired by those movies. It is what it is. I mean, every movie you see now is influenced by something, right? Yeah. If it didn't come out first. So, at the end of everything, I say you guys have not seen this movie, and we did spoil the shit out of it. But, honestly, we spoiled as much as we could. We didn't give you everything, but I highly recommend this, whether you want to watch it digitally, like I said, it's $8, or buy it on 4K when it's on sale, because I'm going to buy it on 4K to have a physical.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw it. I'm definitely going to pick it up on 4K and rewatch. This is a rewatchable movie for me, because this is actually really fun. So I give it a 4. It's a great film.
Yeah, I like this movie. That's why I picked it, because I was like, I don't think Alex has seen this, and it has a horrible title. That might have hurt it too. Like,
that was a really bad title.
Man on a Ledge is a dumb name, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's a solid thriller. It reminds me, and I don't always use this, but it reminds me of a movie that Hitchcock would make if he was like alive. Thrillers, twists, wrongfully accused. He's done all these things, like The Man Who Knew Too Much. This guy, James Stewart, and he gets involved and he's accused of all this stuff, but didn't do it. So he has to prove it. Like, it has all the hallmarks of like a Hitchcock type movie. Sure, it's not technically as proficient as something he would have made, but it's still that kind of movie in the genre he would have done. A thriller with some suspense, little action, little comedy. There's some humor in this movie. Like, Jamie Bell and Genesis Rodriguez get most of the humor. Like, their whole while they're doing the heist, they get all the funny kind of parts, you know? And she looks amazing in this movie, by the way, the whole time. I remember when this came out, I was like, who is this actress? This was her first movie. And then she was in a few more after that, and I was like, I love her. And then she fell off the map and like didn't even really, I think she's on the Umbrella Academy on Netflix now or something like that. So she kind of fell off, but she was in The Last Stand that we did with Arnold Schwarzenegger. She was the girl in that was in the car with the bad guy the whole time.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, their banter is great. You know, like, she'll say something, he's like whatever, and then they're fighting, and he almost drops her, and then he opens the door and she's like just staring at him, and she's like, don't talk to me.
Oh no, he did drop her.
Yeah. Well,
he let her go.
He dropped her, but not from all the way from the top. Yeah, he dropped her from like low, and then she's saying her name, and then he's pressing the buttons, and then she's right there. So like, there's some humor, there's some action, there's a little bit of everything. I fell right in between. I'm like, this is better than a 3, but for me, it's not quite a 4. So guess what? We're buzzing out a half. I give it a 3.5. 7 out of 10. A 7 out of 10 movie for me. So that's a 3.5. I think it's very good. I think it's entertaining. Clearly, I own it on 4K. I haven't watched it in a while, but it's not because I don't like it. It's just because I don't always have time to watch these movies. So that's why I put them on this podcast. But I'm glad you enjoyed it, because I wasn't sure. I was like, I don't know how this is going to go. But I think you might like this because of the twisty turnies, you know, that happen throughout the movie.
You know, this movie, if we have another heist month, you gotta have Pierce Brosnan's The Heist.
The Heist. I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
It's not similar to this, but the plot twist is here and there where Pierce Brosnan is the same old. And I think you will like it because it's old school. I think it's like 90s or 80s, heist movie. And it's, I think, raceway, like all the horse betting and all that stuff. So again, it can fall either way because of the time period. But again, I could recommend that one. That one's actually a pretty good one, The Heist. Yeah,
and you mentioned a movie that we do have coming up, I think in the beginning of next year, 21 Bridges, because we're having I won't tell you what the theme is. I gotta wait till we get to it. But we're going to be doing that movie. So I do like to get some big movies. You want to do some underrated ones. You want to do some older ones. You want to do some new ones. We got a good mix here. And Man on the Ledge is a movie no one talks about. Whether it's because they hate it or because they don't know about it, it is not a very discussed movie that everyone's like, have you ever seen Man on a Ledge? I mean, it's not. It's also not like that amazing, but it's good enough where I thought more people would have seen it, but I still know a lot of people who've never even heard of it. So anyway, that is the movie. What is your total points?
21.
21? Yep. All right, I'm at a 17.5. So I thought it was really good. You thought it was really good. Well, we'll file this under underrated. We should have files. Well, I got watchable crap. We have classic. We have really good. We have garbage, and we have underrated. I would put this in the underrated category.
I agree with you. This is very underrated, and I honestly, this is a movie that if I see it on TV, I'll watch it because now I know what it is. I'm like, oh, okay, I already know the outcome, and it's a very enjoyable movie. It's like I said, Negotiator. It's one of those the same type of films. I like it. It's just
good,
a very
solid thriller.
Very good solid thriller, and a lot of big actors. You go, wait, he's in this too? When you start watching, you go, wait a minute, where did this guy come from? He's
a good cast always helps. It makes a pretty good movie a good movie, and it makes sometimes a good movie a great movie. So
besides that, it's a cast that the actors are not typecasted, like playing the same type of roles. Like when you watch The Negotiator, like 90% of that cast, you go, oh my God, they did like another 5 other films of the same type of cop. Like he plays a cop all the time. He plays a SWAT guy all the time.
Only Ed Harris being bad is the only one that's like
that's the only one, but like all the other characters, I don't see much in that same type of roles over and over.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. All right. So next week we got a couple more movies for you. Again, just me now. No guest for next week. We don't got a guest for a couple weeks here, so it will be just us, and we will be covering the first Michael Bay Ninja Turtles movie, of course, titled Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 2014, and then we're doing our first Star Wars movie. We're going to be doing Rogue One. So doing a little stealing the plans to the Death Star. I haven't seen this movie since the theater, so
me either.
I am looking forward to rewatching it and seeing if it's as what I remember or not. So that's what we got coming up next week.
Yeah, I have not seen this movie. Oh my God. All I remember is
come out is the last time I watched it.
All right, guys, you guys want to follow us in our social media accounts? Please follow Nate over on Instagram at Netflix Reviews, and check out his podcast with him and his friends called Netflix Movie Reviews, and check out his podcast that he does on Instagram with him and his fellow friends every 2 weeks when we're not live. He's on Instagram live with his friends. And then you can check us out, Action Movie Guys, on Instagram at Geeks and Flicks, or our official website at geeksandflicks.com. Other than that, he is your host,
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
I'm his co-host, Alex Figueroa. Be awesome to each other and geek out.